and then suddenly they just start getting 0-2 through and through. So
Gotcha.
this will be fun to watch.
Raz, who's your money on?
Oh, I'll say LGD. I'm just gonna go. I ain't gonna be happy, but
He's
you know,
betting on the wild card.
they're both wild cards at this point.
Yeah, we'll certainly see. But now we have loaded into Champion Select. Raz, thank you so much for your analysis and a little bit of the background on the teams. He'll be joining us afterwards to break down this game. But we've gotten into pick and ban for game number 1 between LGD and Snake. You can see Shen and Rangar banned away, along with Ivern, Kog'Maw taken away from Imp, and that is Camille banned away from Jinnu, so no chance to take that.
Ivern specifically taken away from Amy. He is the Ivern player. Kog'Maw from Imp as well. As we have to highlight a lot of targeted bans away from targeted players, but nothing specifically to one role. Very much a mix of just the best champions in each position.
This variety certainly looks to cover a lot of the bases. Fizz immediately locked in for LGD. And Ash now picked up for OQ, so he's going to get the chance to play that against Amp. Flavor of the month AD carry.
And surprisingly enough, they actually pick up the Fizz for themselves. Now, Fizz is a flex pick. We've seen people play it mid lane, but primarily we're seeing everybody play Fizz in the top lane. And most surprisingly, they actually just freely pick it up for themselves as a first pick. They still give the counter to Flandre.
Yeah, as we'll see what he decides to go for. And again, this could be a bit of a flex for that Fizz, so we don't quite know if it's locked in just yet, where it's going to end up going, though we do have our suspicions. I would love to see LGD just pick down the line.
Well, they're probably just going to go for an Echo with like a standard jungler anyway. There is a chance they actually do pick their own champions.
That's the Elise now.
Look, even if he locks it in, don't count it out.
Could be the Lucian mid. We've seen it before. Xiaohu actually took it, the man who was playing Galio earlier today.
Yeah, Xiaohu.
He's a little bit of a wild card himself, but this is the ultimate test for LGD, the ultimate wild cards.
Yeah, unfortunately it is. Just lock in the champion. Oh my god, how did he do that with his hands off the keyboard?
Yeah, I know. He's sitting back, hands behind him. Magic. Swapped it over at the last second and let that lock in on itself with the timer, but now Zatai gets to look for an answer. Could that be Kennen AD carry then?
It could be, and that is why it's a Rumble being locked in on the side of Snake, because Kennen actually does do quite well into the Rumble if they choose to put the Fizz mid, but now they're moving a lot of pieces around on the side of LGD if that's where they're going to take this. And so right now you'd assume that perhaps it is just going to be that Kennen in the AD carry position for him.
So the one thing that we do know is that there is no support yet. So Syndra has been banned away. It looks like they are suspecting that Fizz is going top and that Kennen is going 80. Wait, really?
What?
The Syndra ban.
Yeah.
There are already two. No, there's one potential mid laner because nobody plays AP Kennen mid anymore.
What are you talking about?
I don't even know, Willis. I was so excited for a few moments about the fact that that could have been Kennen mid.
For those who don't know what he just said, God, he's probably called Wayless.
Nami. No, I was calling you Willis. Like, what you talking about, Willis?
Yeah, and I heard Wayless. I made myself laugh at a joke.
Okay. And now that is Nami banned away from Crystal. Still no support out of Snake just yet.
Raz in the background as well, just
We can just hear him laughing. Oh, man. So I did the math the other day. 103 hours of talking for a living, of casting League of Legends. One slip up is all it takes, and we lose complete control of the analyst desk yesterday.
I mean, that was a pretty big slip up.
But in 103 hours, that was the one mistake. That's the one takeaway.
Yeah.
As now we've got Zyra and Talia banned away. At least Kog'Maw is banned away in this game.
And a mid laner taken away from Zatai in particular. Snake are pretty much just going to put themselves together a standard pick composition. Mel's Ash as their bottom lane duo. Rumble, if he ever shows up to fights and objectives. It is Flandre, so we'll have to see what happens. They have a pretty strong objective-based team. So.
How did Lulu get that far down the draft for both of these teams? I mean, obvious priority for OQ on that Ash. That makes sense.
I can give you a pretty simple answer. Is that it's LGD.
Yeah. And nobody really trusts them.
Well, now it should be locked in as a Lulu, regardless. just because it's into a Malzahar. PYL, I don't know why you're grinning. It better still be a Lulu.
Oh, he's going to take Galio. Or
Maybe.
perhaps try something new. He's got a real big smile on his face, and the
Brand.
concern is that it's only getting bigger.
Oh,
Oh, no. Wait, what?
that better be a hover. You change.
Okay. He's thinking about it. There he goes. Morgana locked in.
Still Morgana, which is curious.
Huh.
We haven't seen Morgana support in quite a while.
Okay, so it turns out that was, in fact, a mistake. That is not supposed to be a Morgana locked in.
God damn it.
Oh, man. Okay, so Fizz going to Godby in the mid lane, Kennen going AD up top, and then support to be rounded out for the final pick for LGD.
What? They have a Victor.
Kennen going in the AD?
Yeah.
It is actually AD Kennen. All right.
This Victor's going bottom, Dom. I'm not sure what you mean. It definitely should be a mid lane Victor.
Just go Sheen and Max Q.
And it does mean that Kennen will be AD carry. He's channeling his Europe, apparently, Imp.
Yeah. Bit of a shout out to Reckless, perhaps.
And it has worked quite successfully for Imp for what it's worth as well. He was like 5-1 during his laning phase in the last set that they played when they 2-0'd Invictus Gaming. So it makes sense that they would still look towards it. Not a strength behind the Vic.
Mm-hmm. We'll see how that works out for them. Of course, the big question mark for me is, now that Imp is on this champion that's so strong at flanking, because that's something that he does so often, why not the likes of a Twitch that actually does damage with the flanking instead of a stun? Put your body in damage range.
Because he wants to also split push.
Oh, okay.
If you're going to play Kennen and you're going to go towards the Blade of the Ruin King Wits End type of build with a Hurricane, then you are committing reasonably heavily towards a split push type of Kennen. It's again, that's the exact same build you see from top lane Kennen.
Okay.
So of course he's going to be hiding out into some kind of side lane. And with every Kennen that we have seen from LGD, it has been flanked by a Victor in the middle lane, which means that it's nearly impossible to actually clear, or fight rather, the Victor when he clears waves so successfully. And so they can always look towards a 1-3-1.
We still haven't seen the mid lane yet from Zatai. Is there any opportunity to try to answer that with another high wave clear mid laner, or perhaps set up some sort of dive mid laner?
Yeah, you saw the Talia actually banned away from him, so perhaps an Orianna or something of the sorts is the way to go for Zatai, but he's also known and has been playing a fair bit of Echo lately.
Yeah.
Which I'm surprised wasn't a higher priority between the mid laners of both of these teams. Godby, Zatai, they both play it. They both like to 1-3-1 a little bit. We'll have to see where Zatai goes.
Go for those sort of mechanical outplays, the 1v1 duels. I believe it was Rookie versus Zatai on the Echo Fizz matchup.
Yeah.
Just last week.
Hi.
Yeah. And if I remember right, Godby was the one who got the kill on Echo. And he killed, or not Godby, Rookie, sorry.
Whoa.
Pulling in different names here. Rookie was the one who managed to outplay.
They outplayed each other once each, actually. There was
really?
a 1v1 where Rookie outplayed him, and then there was a 2v2 where Zatai actually did it back at him. So pretty heavy hitting 1v1. Of course, we've seen Godby in abundance of 1v1s, which is why I can understand you saying that.
Yeah,
of course, his Yasuo versus Echo was famous.
One of the coolest. Late
Absolutely.
2015. Yeah. If you haven't seen it, look it up. It is amazing. So choice. Highly recommended. If you ever have the opportunity.
I mean, it was number 3 and 1 in the Penta.
Yeah.
Which,
From
like, it
both
says a lot. Yeah.
perspectives. Yeah.
It was 1v1ing each other in 2 different scenarios because it was just so high.
Oh, man. Pity we don't get to see that much Yasuo currently anymore.
Yeah, it's a pity. Sure.
Did you see the call out on LeagueofLegends.com today? It was like, greetings, good players of League of Legends and Yasuo mains. Excluding all Yasuos from good
They're
players.
referring to me.
When's the last time you've actually played Yasuo?
I played Yasuo support about a week ago.
That's why you're excluded from good players. Because you played Yasuo support.
Dom at 1.
Yeah, but you're also like super challenger.
Yeah, that should make it harder. Hello?
Okay, so there's actually the Lulu to pick it up, and that is Echo into Fizz. So we do get to see Zatai rematch. Not Rookie, but he will be taking it up against Godby and Jinnu.
Yeah, so when they actually get to the side lane type of pressure point in the game, perhaps one completed item apiece, then you might see Zatai actually try and find the Fizz again. It should be a different breed of Fizz, however, this will be a Trinity Force route because it's a top laner. We'll have to see how this one actually pans out. There'll be some subtle differences this time. Flandre, it is still the Rumble Echo. Snake are playing a very similar composition on the top half of the map to what we're used to seeing from them. Their bottom lane is the difference, actually, though, with Crystal picking up Malzahar and OQ on Ashe.
Huge suppression if they can manage to line up their CC. And Kennen, great at proccing stuns, not so great at escaping from them.
Yeah, very much so. Of course, Lightning Rush will help with his early laning phase, but if he's locked down, he's well and truly going to stay there, which is where Lulu comes into play. By the way, very disappointed in you, LGD. You could obviously find the Lulu button, and then they still made PYL pick it, and then he picked Morgana. I would have made him play Morgana. Do not care.
Just play through the entire match.
It is not that hard to find Lulu.
To be fair, they're playing up against Snake, who ended up having to play Taric support.
He speaks the language of the server. PYL has no excuse.
Maybe they're just trying to give a bit of a nod to Snake. Like, you know what? We've seen you make mistakes before, so we'll just make our own, make you feel good.
Are you saying they made mistakes intentionally, though?
I'm saying they've had to suffer through, what was it, the Malzahar and Taric lock-in?
Yes. Malzahar jungle, what a thing that was.
Yeah.
Funnily enough, SLFM had played it before, so he had a stat line actually relating to Malzahar jungle.
Did not get to add a win in that column, though.
No.
But with that, we've got our final compositions locked in. You'll notice we're a little loosey-goosey. This is LGD versus Snake, 6th place versus 5th. No chance for either of these teams to move up or down in the standings, so this is effectively a show match for them, a chance to practice and hone their mechanics before the promotion tournament next week in just a few days.
Have you guys ever heard someone say loosey-goosey before in a serious sentence? That was weird. Anyway, you are correct. Sorry, 5 against 6 in the standings. Snake just watched their dreams shattered by IMA in the set beforehand.
Yeah.
And so this was meant to be a very serious game for them. There was a lot of implications to it. Now that's completely gone to waste. And so the first thing you have to wonder is, how is Snake feeling knowing that fact? Are they completely tilted just based off the fact that they were meant to have a shot today at playoffs and now it's gone because of an upset? I'd be tilted.
Well, nobody knows but Snake, and as soon as we get these masteries dropped away, we can take a look at those player profiles.
Also, Thunderlords start here from Godv.
There's a lot of Thunderlords, yeah.
Yeah, the Victor. Usually Deathfire Touch seems to be the way to go for most Victors, speaking towards Doinby and most other Victors that we're seeing currently. But Thunderlords getting a bit of extra burst in there. Not a bad decision when you think about how Thunderlords interacts with Echo. They both want to be bursting each other. Thunderlords adds some burst to the Victor, so maybe the trades are more equal.
Yeah. We'll see how that works out as Zatai helps go for a bit of a leash. Topside start for both Amy and SOFM. They're going to make their way around towards that bottom side of the map rather quickly. Let's see. Yeah, both going for a standard clear, not rushing buffs.
Last time we saw this bottom lane from LGD, we thought they were going to fight under 5 minutes, but it was at 5 minutes on the dot when LGD started trying to push their advantages. And that's closer to like the level 3, maybe level 4 mark. And maybe they feel like they have some extra strength in the 2v2. At the moment, they're harassing Crystal, trying to keep him down. Imp's the one trying to be empowered, however, from the side of LGD. Got the Lulu picks on him, do all that damage with autos.
He's just chucking shurikens down that lane. You just saw the fan vote heavily in favor of LGD. Seems like majority of the folks are trusting in the tilt of Snake.
Godv also trusting in that as well.
Yeah.
Zatai having a bad time.
Immediately pushing him back at level 2. SOFM is going to spot out Amy, though. Manages to get a lot of burst onto the Elise before she can respond, and Crystal aggressively flashes over the wall. Then Elise comes down, and whoa, Amy manages to get over. Sonic Wave onto the Dragon.
Get him, Drake!
Auto! He's healing up. It's one more. Oh, the Cocoon! Amy's doing a lot of damage right now, though he is deep in enemy territory. Hops over the wall, and that's a heal. Amy still survives, dies to the red buff from SOFM.
But now PYL's got doubles. Let's go bottom lane. Get excited. Lulu's coming for you. That was actually really impressive from SOFM. And then just completely horrible from SOFM because he followed it into 3 people. He also didn't follow through to the Ocean Drake when it was hitting the Elise. Like, just do that, man.
Well, then he would have had to walk away from the Ocean. He would have been the one taking the aggro and the slow.
It's still ward jump.
Oh, yeah, maybe.
He has wards. You can see the yellow trinket.
He currently does. Maybe, perhaps a little overzealous in that play.
SOFM never.
This is your jungle, this is my jungle.
Mind you, that wasn't for Raptors, weirdly enough.
Yeah, he was actually setting up vision to cover Zatai in the mid lane. Despite all of that action, though, mid lane, no kills, no assists. Zatai had a pretty significant CS deficit early on. PYL trying to use this red buff as aggressively as possible.
Yeah, weirdly enough, Zatai has only just come back from base. He didn't teleport either. He goes for a Dark Seal. Now he's aggressive.
Ooh, that's a lot of distance on that Chronosphere. Whoa, Godby. Ooh, gets a big chunk.
Yeah, that's pretty silly from Godby, unfortunately. Now he's going to have to go back to base, you'd expect. He's on the back foot, so going back is not an easy thing to do now, especially against an Echo who can just hard push. He's now going to actually be completely caught up, actually, on the side of Zatai.
Suddenly that CS advantage working right back over as SOFM immediately invades. Quick Scryer's Bloom to check things out. Actually, no, that was OQ scouting for him with a hawk shot from bottom lane.
Look how zoned they are.
That is double buff, Ken and Lulu. And that's first blood on PYL.
Yeah, I mean, those double buffs definitely help with lane pressure. Of course, they just ended. Imp also standing between turrets. Absolutely just making the most of the champions of choice and the advantage they got through that first blood for PYL. They're expecting that to now spill over after this first recall to some added power in the 2v2 of LGD.
We'll see how they continue to move this advantage forward. Looks like early Sightstone from PYL in Boots, so he will prioritize Vision, knowing he is up against SOFM.
Even Godby just went for Sork Shoes instead of going towards his upgraded Hex Core.
Yeah.
This really is a time to be alive, isn't it?
LGD playing smart, playing safe.
I don't even know if that's smart. I mean, he no longer has the wave clear to match the Echo. He's going for the damage route instead. We'll have to see how smart it becomes.
He's just looking for the outplays. Level 6 now picked up for him, and you can see level 6 picked up for both top laners as Flandre makes his way mid. Turns right back around.
Any opportunity that he gets to leave the lane, he can throw an equalizer down. If the parallel convergence connects from the Echo and they get a stun, then should be a free kill, but as you can see, he walked over a ward.
So good vision setup from SOFM and the rest of Snake on that top side of the map. Looks like the attempt from LGD to do it on the bottom is currently being answered.
Hello.
What? Amy, that's just unlucky.
That is very unlucky. SOFM found him.
He's like, I'm outside of vision. I'm going to catch him once he starts going up to auto the ward. Betrayed by the fact that Sonic Wave has a pretty long range.
That was actually surprisingly long, I'm not going to lie.
Yeah.
No. Either way, hit him. Revealed him. Spider has been spotted.
So you know that Amy's on that side of the map, level 5.
Here we go.
Ooh,
the Elise is still here, so eyes on that fact.
Of course the Limp won't walk backwards.
What are you doing, Amy?
He is taking a lot of damage from this. Good proc on the
Amy.
crystal, and Amy is still standing there. He's waiting for the perfect opportunity. Chrono break from Zatai, but that's not a lot of mana. Here comes Amy. He's got to deal with 4 summoner spells. Cocoon catches Crystal. They're going to burst him down. Heal keeps him alive for just a second longer. OQ is able to make it under his turret.
Well, I mean, Amy took a while, but he showed up. So now they actually get themselves the kill. The Cocoon was there. SOFM is 6. He might... Nope. Alrighty. Everyone calm down.
What's the rush?
You calm down.
Did you expect that he was going to just all in or cancel or what?
Well, there was a teleport coming. I thought he might have had flash. But
Gotcha.
He didn't. That's what I was getting at. Flash kick was obviously within range.
Oh, from SOFM?
Yeah.
As it is, though, the bottom tier 1 turret drops the first of the game. You can see Zatai making his way down there with SOFM for a bit of support and maintaining control over that Ocean Drake now that that side of the map is opened up. So, advantage Imp.
And he might actually find himself a Spider here, SOFM. Nope. Gets out. He's got 2 levels over his Elise opponent as well. However, the problem for Snake is always going to be this bottom lane. It's mostly the PYL that has the kill, so it's not that big of a problem. It should be.
Moby Sightstone. So important. And of all of the people to get them, it's PYL. He's going to be running around on solo missions for wards.
Yeah.
If anything, Snake are going to be like, yes, PYL is going to blind face check into our jungle.
I mean, when he's got like Mobies this early and a Sidestone, the vision that they should have down should be well superior to that of Snake. So they shouldn't actually really know where PYL is going to be. But currently he has no summoners. He is a level 5 Lulu. And so if they do find him, if SOFM's there when they find him, then that is a dead Lulu.
Yeah, that's why Snake should be celebrating. They should be expecting PYL to face check into their jungle. It's been a bit of a trend in the LPL for the supports to blindly face check.
I don't think SOFM will be in his own jungle.
Oh, yeah.
Usually be the enemy Raptors.
He's too busy living in LGD's jungle. As you just saw him taking 2 camps, Recall finishes off the full Warriors upgrade on that Tracker's Knife before heading back towards the bottom lane. Blue buff being gifted over to both mid laners. As Imp and PYL still hang out down here in this bottom lane. Despite the kills being on PYL, that first turret advantage means a finished Berserker Greaves and Dagger advantage for Imp.
Yeah, Imp is a very large cannon right now. Malzahar's been doing enough work to kind of hold his own in the laning phase for what it's worth. Crystal's been playing perfectly fine. They saw him, just in case you were wondering.
Godby's here as well, gets the laser and some good burst. That's why the Thunderlords make sense. They're even teleporting. Flash means SOFM makes it away, but the max range fish finds OQ as Jinu teleports into the back line and is able to burn through Crystal's health along with OQ. 2 kills LGD.
And LGD just burned through more than OQ's health bar. Very easy kills to be picked up by the Malzahar. Just gets completely melted. And this is all Godby actually just showing up to play. Actually chunks out SOFM. And with the Lee Sin returning to base or having no health, suddenly they just continue this play through. As much as I want to say it's LGD playing well, it's just as much Snake's fault.
Ooh, Amy gets the cocoon on Zatai. Mid-dash, Repel gets him away, so he's able to survive and get good damage onto SOFM. PYL is on the hunt for another kill. That's Chrono Break, sending him back. He's burning down, but Godfrey's the one who gets it.
They've got him completely covered. Zatai was forced to use the ultimate, but he was also ignited. It was never going to give him a lot of health. LGD get another kill in the middle lane. Translate that immediately over to an Ocean Drake, and they have themselves a sizable gold lead at the same time. Beginning of the end for Snake.
Perhaps.
Just kidding, it ended last set.
Oh, man.
Well, they can't hear me.
They're still playing.
They can't hear me.
They've got to finish this best of 3.
I can say whatever I want. They can't hear it.
Somebody who knows the people on Snake needs to link them this broadcast.
I like Crystal.
So that we can be held credible, held accountable.
Quote me on that. Crystal's a nice bloke. He plays Draven.
He does. And you're probably wondering, what? The support for Snake plays Draven. Used to be the AD carry.
Yeah, he plays support Draven.
And swapped over to the support role earlier this split during the big change-ups for Snake and trying to find stability in their roster. Even SOFM plays support.
What's BYL? Is he going straight for an Ardent Sensor first item?
God, I hope so.
He's got an Aether Wisp, so he kind of has to. Like, no one rushes that component of it. What a muppet.
Watch him go Ludens.
If he goes
like,
Ludens.
all right, we're going in.
If he goes Ludens, I'm leaving.
Oh, boy, that'll be interesting.
For you.
We still got Raz here. We'll call him up.
Raz, if he goes Ludens, I'm out.
Jinu trying to defend his tier 1, managed to land the fish and clear out a lot of minions. And kicked against the wall, dodges over, still going 1v3. Nether Grasp is finally dropped. Have they got the damage to burn it through?
No, they don't.
They do not, in fact. And Godby shows up in time to punish Crystal 6-1.
This is a disaster. Just watching it unfold. You can feel all of Snake's tilt from the previous set just emanating through this game.
Palpable.
Really is. That dive, the perfect example of it. No minions really to set them up for it at the right time. Fizz uses his ultimate to clear the whole wave. And try as they might, Snake, they definitely know that they're losing. They know they're on the back foot. It gets worse every time they try and make a play, unfortunately.
Yeah. Oh, man. Crystal's taking off his jacket. No, he's not.
He
He's just
respawned.
bringing up his shoulders. There he goes. I wonder if he's actually taking off his jacket or just doing the half-on, half-off like Final Fantasy.
It wouldn't be comfy. You'd have to take the jacket off. Stage lights make it hot.
Yeah. Sitting under the lights. But that's now Rift Herald picked up, and 2 turrets for LGD. They are running all across the map. 3,500 gold ahead with that first dragon.
Should be the Blade of the Ruin King as well for Imp, and at this stage in the game, that's when everything blows out of proportions far more than what we're currently looking at. Right now, Snake have been trying to do things that have been answered, but now LGD have enough of the items to be able to make those things happen themselves. They can be proactive, they can force the plays, and they should be able to force it straight down the barrel of Snake.
Yeah, that's the Ardent Sensor Rush. You are correct.
What, did you have to look up the build part?
I did, yeah.
I would have told you that.
I just wanted to double check.
You were actually worried I was going to leave?
Yes. Because it is 5th place versus 6th place. Neither of these teams can move up or down in the standings. This is the final match for Group A in the LPL Spring Split, the final best of 3.
Never miss an opportunity to watch Godv when he feels like he has nothing to lose. Because that's when he actually plays like the best player in the league.
Yeah,
Not a joke.
3-0. Fully upgraded hex score. Pity that he's on Victor, not something a little bit more flashy. But it looks like Imp is making up for it along with PYL and Amy. That is a lot of flashes.
They made sure he's dead.
They did.
They really made sure he was dead. You'd have to say some of that probably wasn't necessary. But Crystal tried to use his ultimate, was cancelled anyway by all of the stuns that were there. Jinu decided that your second turret doesn't matter.
That is really deep.
That's a tragedy.
Yeah. And the funniest thing is that he's playing Fizz, one of the trolliest champions, against a team that he knows is already tilted. Perhaps that could be why they first picked it.
That and Fizz is just incredible at the moment.
Sure.
Able to be flexed in more than one lane. And Jinu has been playing quite well on it. He's a carry player.
Yeah.
You know, he's known for the Fioras. Because that's not really a camera angle we want to see.
Ooh. Got to keep himself prepared, yeah.
Sorry, there's just, it looks, it never, I wear contacts. I still don't want to look at myself putting contacts in.
Or fluid or anything.
Or opening my eyes like that.
Also, why fluid? So I don't have contacts, but why is it called fluid? Like, just that word.
What, you mean the
Yeah,
solution?
Yeah. Solution. Okay, that's it.
Solution.
Gotcha. Never mind. Making a big hubbub to do and a big to do about nothing. Much ado.
Maybe it is. I call it solution.
Yeah.
Because that's what it is.
Contact lens fluid, contact lens solution.
Yeah, solution.
Yeah. Crystal, you can see looking perhaps a little annoyed at this setup, as they still have to finish this match. 15 minutes in, teleport bottom. Jinu shows up just in time to defend that tier 1 turret and continues to all in and chase Zitai down, forces the chrono break, leaps over 1, follows through 2, but Jinu falls. Meanwhile, Equalizer on 3, that's a lot of damage onto Godv. Flandre's trying to get in from the side, but Imp is face tanking him as Crystal gets destroyed by LGD. They continue to push the rest of Snake's flank back.
Yeah, Crystal's having a pretty bad day. Jinu does die, but that's because SOFM's down there, and Zitai with a dangerous game definitely keeps himself healthy. I don't think he'll be able to push that next turret, unfortunately, so LGD still come out on top. Well and truly.
Yeah, 8-2 right now. Currently a 3,500 gold advantage as Triforce is now picked up and finished for Jinu. You've got the fully upgraded Hex Core and a Quicksilver Sash for Godv.
Yeah, Godv's not at risk of dying anymore. Malzahar, Ashe, you know, the big engage tools of this team. Even having the magic resistance away from the Rumble ultimate. There's not a lot now that's going to be able to deal with what is a massive Victor. I am more curious to see where it goes with that Amp Tome, though, than having a QSS. Currently, his build is just Sork Shoes and a Hex Core.
Yeah. He's got a lot of AP as he's now level 11, but still holding on to all of this gold in the mid lane. PYL being kind enough to hold on to that minion wave for him.
Yeah, but he missed the cannon, so
yeah.
Ultimately he lost that wave.
40-some odd gold. There's the flank out of Snake, and looks like Crystal decides to turn around and walk away. Turns out he didn't take his jacket off. He was just in the cam on the bottom right. As now 4 members, looks like we've got a standard 1-4 setup from LGD. Collapsing bottom. Zitai will try to hold the minion wave, but Imp brings it up with the rest of his team, while Jinu has to keep Flandre and SOFM occupied.
I mean, they've actually got 5 control wards in their inventory, and they've still got 3 control wards down, 4 control wards around near the Drake. Look at the wards that LGD have got. They're taking this game way too seriously.
They really are. They are going super hard. Turns out the prophecy is true, as when the game doesn't matter, LGD play their hardest. Chronosphere is dropped as the minion wave is cleared out, but they're still going to finish off this inhibitor turret. 17.5 minutes in, and this is one of the most dominant games we have seen from LGD this split.
Yeah, I saw FM spending most of his time holding Flandre's hand, and unfortunately that doesn't lead them to victory, only friendship. That's also going to mean another Drake is easily taken over to LGD after an inhibitor turret.
I'm pretty sure Heart was one of the weakest Planeteers. When you've got like Earth, Wind, Water, Fire, and Heart, just throw a rock at him. Light him on fire.
Purely logical, right? That something that isn't a physical
manifestation.
Yeah, it's not going to be as good.
Yeah. They're going to need a little bit more than Heart. They're going to need the remaining 4 Planeteers to assemble this Captain.
Jesus. Captain Jesus.
Yeah. Because they need a miracle. Oh, boy. I mean, this is just game number 1 as well. And though we know that this game doesn't mean anything for Snake and LGD in terms of the standings, this is still the final chance for them to practice on stage before that promotion tournament. And LGD are in the elimination match against Game Talents. If they lose their next best of 5 after this one, they are eliminated from the LPL.
Yeah, absolutely. So LGD getting all the practice that they can, winning their laning phase, and now progressing that through to the mid lane, mid-game reasonably well, you'd have to say, with all of the control wards they've got. As Snake looking for something, but unfortunately the Voidling can't use the Malzahar ultimate, so it scares them off.
Tragically, not able to cast Nether Grasp with pets, though we do still have Flash available for Crystal.
Really good stuff, though, from LGD, having Jinnu in the bottom lane with the open inhibitor. So they actually put him in the lane where the free objective can be secured in a 1v1 sense. There'll be more than one person that has to go deal with that Fizz, and when that happens, LGD have the advantage.
Ooh, they managed to catch the stun onto SOFM, but they do burn his Flash as he escapes with his life. Sonic Wave. Don't do it, SOFM. It's only red buff.
It's not Raptors, or he would have done it.
If it was LGD's red buff on the other side of the map, he would have gone in.
Ah, that's true.
And then Smite stole it.
Snake now obviously desperate, though, based off what we've seen of them in the past couple of minutes. Thankfully for them, desperation helps with their team composition. You know, they're not completely lost. They can try and make picks constantly, using the Ashe, using the Malzahar. If Echo's there, then Parallel Convergence, Lee Sin kick. And if they ever fight LGD for an objective, they will have the Rumble ulti there as well. There's still a lot of strength in the team composition.
Is that a trackable stat? Desperation?
It's like
do we have the numbers on that? Okay. It's not a truly tangible thing. It's more a surreal, quasi-existing statistic.
Yes.
Alrighty, LGD looks like they're the ones with the bigger hearts today, as they are continuing to press top, just running this 1-4 composition, making it so that if Snake were to try to use that determination, to use that heart, and find a pick, and find an assassination.
They use brains more than heart in this one, Dom. They're going to try and make a pick. They actually have to use their team composition's design. And first things first, they need to actually place vision to be able to do all of that, and finally they are. But contrasting that to LGD, there's just no way in for Snake. They basically build themselves one straight line of vision, and if LGD ever contest that vision, they never have a second amount of it to actually place down again. So they're losing multiple wars on multiple fronts. Mechanics, map control, minion control, it's all going downhill.
Well, the question is, will it crash when it hits the bottom? And if it does, how big of a crash is it going to be? Are we looking at like a 25-minute, 30-minute breaking game? Obviously, we've got the Rune Ends now finished on Imp, and it looks like he...
I mean, I'd imagine we're just looking at a Baron. If LGD actually get the Baron, then you would expect they're going to be able to close out this game. But if Snake can do something around and maybe get a kill before the Baron, prevent it from happening, then the game gets prolonged inevitably. So really, it's all about that.
Okay. The big deciding factor. So the necessary prerequisites to that Baron, though, are setting up a lot of vision. Amy and PYL feeling quite enabled. They're doing so right now is Jinnu. Given the casual one-on-one to Flandre. Manages to catch him right as he overheats, leaps over the equalizer, but Imp shows up down there as well. That's the AD carry and Godby The two carries roam throughout the dark vision of Snake and kill the split top laner.
And SOFM's now in the enemy jungle instead of recalling, so LGD are just going to continue to push the bottom side of the map. They're also threatening mid, and there's nothing really that... Okay, Wolves aren't worth it.
I have seen this SOFM before. This is an SOFM who, when he did this play
Why
last time...
is he doing Wolves?
He got benched to support for 2.5 weeks. And perhaps that benching of him, the losses from Snake, might be costing them even more now as they find themselves behind Aime in the standings and locked into that 5th place spot.
Thankfully, they don't lose their middle lane turret as well. The wave is now going to crash.
Oh, the shield is enough. SOFM is able to protect Crystal as the Chaos Storm starts burning through, but there's the turret you were talking about, the continued push.
They're going to continue going, honestly. Maybe look for the inhibitor. Baron's also a possibility. LGD have lost nothing by doing all of this pushing. There's nothing that's come out to respond to them. No Rumble Equalizer, no Lee Sin kick, no desperation counterplay out of Snake. They just let it happen. And LGD get free recalls. They're right as rain.
Ooh, that fish. You can see it flopping around. It's disappointed with the fact that it didn't connect with SOFM.
When a cannon auto attacks with his empowered W, it one hits Voidlings.
Perhaps the AD cannon makes a little bit more sense now.
You've also got a Lulu, so they just directly counter it.
Yeah. Crystal does have a button that he can press as Snake now group up as 5, break down that middle turret. They're trying to burst through Imp, but that's so much being done to keep him standing. The turret is still alive, and they turn around for a kill. Jinu teleport flanks onto OQ. They manage to tag onto Zatai. He's got Chrono Break, but he'll make his way back into the team if he activates it. Proto Belt to try to get some distance, manages to get the slow, and Jinu will sidestep, but that's LGD now turning onto the Baron. Vision setup from Jinu keeps SOFM away, and LGD are in complete control of this game.
Let's see if Imp is as good as Uzi and doesn't actually tank.
It's Godby and Imp in the pit right now as Jinu gets kicked away. That Sonic Wave onto Godby. SOFM rides it in, 1,700 health. He's silenced, but it will be picked up by Amy, down to 400 health. A little closer than I think it needed to be.
Yeah, they were playing with fire there, LGD, but they're also just making sure SOFM came in and died, so there was no steal available for them. They're also getting base turrets for free here, compliments of minions.
Yeah.
LGD with the Baron secured. This is that time in the game that we were talking about, Dom. Realistically, 2 inhibitors, Baron buff, 1 remaining lane for them to go hard on. They should just go up there and push it. This Ocean Drake is not necessary.
But it's LGD, and that they don't have a game, that this game doesn't mean anything, means that it means everything to them.
They want it to go for 50 minutes. They want to torture their opponents. Make this as painful as possible.
Play the savage game.
It also looks like by them being bottom, they're not actually just going to go top and win through minions. They're just going to push.
I think they might try to end the game right now. Imp looks for OQ and has found him, but an arrow will prevent him from engaging. That feel when your AD carry
how ballsy he is.
Casually walks into the enemy base. SOFM and Crystal are like, we're coming. But so too are the minions making their way in through that bottom lane as they look to finish off this mid inhib. Baron buff only empowers minions and enhances recall. It doesn't actually give you any combat stats. As Imp looks like they're going to 100-0 him right now. Do they have the damage? They do. It's 4 versus 5. Zatai managing to get good damage onto Amy. He comes down over the side. Jinu finally joins up with Godby, and Flandre gets popped by Amy. The auto attack executes
not done.
And Godby continues chasing, scaring OQ back. Gets big damage onto Crystal, walking through the Nexus turrets to zone away the rest of Snake, turning onto Zatai. He has got his fountain standing. Oh, goodness.
Where are you going to go?
It's going to be close. He's trying to heal up. Ah, the zone control from Godby as he takes that kill, and they now turn. What are you guys doing? Where are you going? Get onto the Nexus.
Go to the Nexus.
LGD.
I hope you die, Amy.
You hope SOFM manages to kill him here?
You get back over that Nexus and end the damn game.
Jinu is like, I know I might be the new guy on this roster, but I hear that actually ending the game is pretty good. Finally turns onto the Nexus, breaks it down, and LGD take game number 1. The moment it doesn't matter is the moment they play their best.
And they never really looked like losing that game. So whether it's LGD looking their best or Snake looking at their worst, course, they've just found out they're not going to make playoffs. There's an emotional roller coaster happening over on the other side of the map. Still good from LGD. Still a pretty clean, easy victory from them. Their vision was fine. Their team fighting was fine. Godby looked good. Imp looked like he was never going to be stopped.
Yeah, he was walking in ahead of his team into the enemy base, almost trying to 1v3, 1v4. But now joining us to help us 3v1 this analyst desk is Raz.
Ah, who's the one? This game?
The game.
Oh, okay. You know,
Yeah.
I'll take it. I'll get it.
It's
in
the
there.
three of us against the game.
Well, this game,
I was with it.
I feel like you only need a 1v1 this game because this game was a little bit straightforward. LGD had this game for a very long time, and it really was just off the back, I believe, of Godby.
Yeah.
Godby was omnipresent this game. At every moment and every move that SOFM was looking to dive in the bottom side of the map. Stop. He's like, all right, I guess I just got killed on this dive on Fizz. And even even in the side lane, where you're just saying, okay, you know, Rumble's dealing with the Fizz, it's going to be a bit of a chase. And then you see Kennen, and you're like, all right, well, now Victor's just there for, he didn't get the kill, he didn't get the assist, but he was just there for moral support. I was like, what is Snake doing this game? Even when they were far behind, they'd never put themselves in a position to have an amazing comeback. If LGD's in that position, and there's been a lot of times where LGD's in that position, they still take losses, but they will always look for perhaps a Baron rush in those positions, especially if they're sending 3 people to the side lane. I felt like Snake's heart wasn't in it. You're talking about heart being the 5th element. Was it 5th element?
He was talking about
All right,
that.
you're
The
talking
fifth
about being
Planeteer.
the Planeteer. You know what? I'm going to move away from that. They didn't have that 5th Planeteer. They didn't even have it as, it was nowhere near there. I think Snake, it was nice to see the very early portions for SOFM. You saw a bit of a mechanic, even though it meant his own demise because he just took that Q.
Still hit it.
He still hit it.
Yeah.
I didn't expect him to hit it, but he proved me wrong. He proved the world wrong. And then he killed himself. He killed
So Raz,
Yeah.
is this a Snake that can requalify back into the LPL? Now that we know they're locked in 5th place, they have to play either Vici Gaming or Newbie.
Yeah.
Is this, with play like this, can they sit back and just rest over the next few days?
They cannot. They have to take this very seriously. The reason for it is, with LGD, they're looking good enough that they can expect to take game talents, and you can expect them to take young miracles. I have them coming into the set up against either Vici or Newbie, actually behind on this. I think that Vici or Newbie have been showing better games, and that they're gonna have a tough time in the first one. Now, thankfully, it's not a death match. Whoever wins that match goes on to goes and secures their spot in the LPL. Whoever loses that match goes into face the LSPL team, which in this case is going to be Dan Gaming. But even that one, you can't rest on that one. They look pretty good. So Snake, they can't afford to be able to kind of leave their heart at the door. They have to play hard in this one. So this could be the last time we see Snake in the regular season. We can't see this play.
Yeah. And again, Snake, this is a team that's been in the LPL for what, almost a year and a half, 2 years at this point?
Yeah.
Coming in at about the same time as Chaogu in 2015.
Yeah, one split before, I believe.
Yeah.
Was Snake, right? So
Yeah.
that about 2 years now. This is their second year
Yeah.
confirmed in the LPL. It could be their last based off that performance. But
Yeah.
for what it's worth, I would rather say that LGD looked better this time than that Snake looked bad.
Yeah.
I think there is a lot more merit behind calling LGD good in this game, and we saw them actually win the game in 25 minutes.
Yeah.
Which is a positive sign, no matter how you phrase it. They actually ended the game in 25 minutes.
So, important question. If you take a katana to tissue paper, it looks easy, right? Is this LGD actually being good? Can we actually commend them if
No, we
Snake
can't.
looked this terrible?
The reason why we can is because of the last set that we saw as PYL takes the MVP. The last set that we saw from LGD going up against IG is concurrent with this one. I know I see a lot of confused
No,
faces.
you're good, yeah.
And it's because of the man in front of your screen at PYL. It was either Jinu for me, or it was Godby, or it was even Kennen. There's a lot of winning points. The guy got double buffs. Congratulations. It's just,
He got first blood, double buffs, and then just one lane.
he even tried to roam mid. So it's not that there was no negative aspect of his play. There were just a lot of positives about LGD, and that's nice to see.
Yeah, it is encouraging. Of course, knowing that they are in elimination in just a few days, they'll have to play up. We're going to get ready for game number 2.